Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be jumping down back into the world of Bitcoin, taking a look at the recent price action and what we think is likely to happen next. As I get into the video, if you find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, guys, check it out. Linked in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. Let's jump on down into this. This is a Bitcoin paired up with USDT on the hourly chart, and Binance is our data source. We can see here that I have used Elliott Wave theory just to kind of help us understand if we're going to be moving up or moving down with the kind of structure of things at the moment. If you're looking for more details on Elliott Wave theory, check out the 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏.com, linked in the description below. We have put together a 21-part video course on Elliott Wave theory over there. So here we can see ABC structure to the upside, and we do have this moving up slightly higher. It looks like we potentially are finding ourselves in an upper area of resistance though. We can kind of see that right in here if I draw in this little yellow box between 23,055 to 23,159. Pushing up higher here is going to be quite difficult. So there's actually two scenarios that are in play. We've either already completed our ABC structure, which would look like this, A, B, and C here, okay, reaching that upper area, and we're actually in an ABC structure to the downside here, here, and here, okay, taking us down into our demand zone that we spoke about yesterday. Now, I still think we have this potential move up higher, mainly because of the 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart hasn't reached this overbought area just yet, so I do think there's still progression upwards before we can kind of see those corrections. But as with time is progressing here and we are yet to kind of reach this upper area, I think, and even right now as I'm kind of recording this video, you're seeing this pullback. It's possible that, yeah, we probably are going to fail to kind of reach that upper expectation around that 23,159, and we probably are going to lose these lows that we're currently on, coming down into our slightly lower demand area, coming in here about 23,336 and 25,571. Okay, so we'll see. We're pretty much reaching that upper area anyway, so I'm going to say let's kind of, park our expectations of higher moves and focus on the lower ones. It's probably the more likely scenario. Just be aware that we can still push a little bit higher if we needed to. Now, when we start zooming out of this and we start reflecting on all of this, we could actually be looking at maybe a slightly bigger pullback than expected. Maybe more towards our 21,650 and 22,217. This would be basically a bit of a reset on all of this area, just like this, something to that effect. It's a bit too soon to know if that is going to play out, so let's just see how we kind of react when we get down into this demand area of around that 23,300 or 22,300 to 22,500. Once we cut down into these lows, it'd be interesting to kind of see how price reacts, because we could come down significantly lower and finishing off this entire corrective structure. Obviously, losing these lows are going to mean losing this trend line at the bottom here, but again, that doesn't really matter too much, and I'm not overly too concerned about that. Essentially, here we are in this kind of bearish divergence on the daily, all of this up here with the higher highs and the higher lows. We are looking for reversal here anyway, but I still think we have the potential to move up ever so slightly higher when it comes to the price action of BTC. So let's go ahead and bring this up into our daily chart here. Let me clear that off the side. Okay, so again, this is still Bitcoin USDT pair on Binance, but this is the daily. You can see that we're above the 200 EMA, which is usually a positive thing, and we are looking at taking that 50 EMA a little bit higher than our 200 soon on this daily chart. So that's all looking reasonably good. But as I said, there is bearish divergence here, and if I throw in the divergence indicator, you can see it right here. Basically, price is pushing up, but volumes and momentum are dropping down. Okay, this is an indication that things are about to reverse. This is not a good place to be. So we definitely seem to be reaching an upper limit when it comes to BTC here. We don't want to kind of trick ourselves or fool ourselves into thinking there's something a bit more going on. I did say that this looked like an ending diagonal structure. I still think that is very much in play, and we still can push up a little bit higher here before we do move on down. It could be, as I said yesterday, within here, an expanding diagonal, basically looking for a bigger wave 5 to maybe hit the slightly higher ranges before pulling down. So that's still technically possible, which means testing these lows are going to be interesting before we do move on up, but not essential. We can of course kind of say that this is just a series of higher highs, higher lows that are breaking down. It's all overlapping, all over correcting, and we are running out of that momentum. So when we take a look at our daily, yes, our stochastic actually looks pretty reasonable, as in we're oversold and we can move on up. So that allows us to kind of think that maybe we're not quite done with that kind of move just yet, and we can still push up higher. However, we do have the bearish divergence, and we have seen a little bit of a pullback, but nothing major yet. So bear in mind, our divergence indicator here is kind of telling us what is to come, and a high RSI, low stochastic RSI is a very, very odd thing to see. Now, when we bring this to our weekly chart, we can, of course, see that we are still being hit hard by the 200 EMA on our weekly time frame. Again, not looking overly positive there. We're overbought as well, and if we do throw the volumes in, you can quite clearly see that volumes have been decreasing as we have been pushing up. Even if we take it from the FTX side here, we do have a divergence with higher high in price, but lower highs on the volume profiles, basically telling us that we are running out of steam to kind of think about that move up any higher than where we currently are. Our RSI is at a reasonable level though, and there aren't any major kind of divergences to being indicated at the moment, so all that is reasonably good. We can stay where we are for a little bit longer. Like I said, we can potentially even push up a fraction more if we needed to on our weekly chart, but at some point this is going to be pulling down, so kind of seeing this as a kind of scenario where we've kind of reached an upper limit here and we're about to reverse at some point soon. Can't time it, but I am concerned about it. Now, from our accumulation patterns, these are still very much in play. The invalidation of this, or to make it all void, would be to push up higher than 25,211, which means I would have to redraw it if there is any kind of Wyckoff accumulation pattern at all. Essentially, I am looking for a retest at 18,626. That would basically be the secondary test here in phase A, and basically what we're doing in both of these schematics is looking for a retest of that particular area. So coming down towards that $18,000 level is something that I would be expecting to see here for Bitcoin at some point in the future. Bear in mind, this is a daily chart. It's going to take quite some time to play out, so kind of keep that in mind. But a move down under the Wyckoff accumulations are still technically in play. When we take a look at our wallet counts for Bitcoin, we can, of course, see that big money is still coming out of their positions. You can see the sharks here over 100 Bitcoin coming down over the last couple of days. You can see the same thing with the whales at over 1,000 Bitcoin coming down over the last few days. And again, you can see the Kraken over 10,000 Bitcoin coming down. When we take a look at the retail wallets, we can of course see a slight increase on the retail side. So basically, retailers are buying, whales are selling, and so pretty much the same story that we talk about every single day. Just kind of waiting to see that kind of reverse. We're waiting for retail to sell. We are kind of getting there slowly, but it's going to take some time. I don't think this is going to be over very, very quickly. But do enjoy some green in the market. I do think we're going to see some real good, significant gains on some of the altcoins. But yeah, I wouldn't be thinking long term about that. I'd say that, like we always kind of talk about on the channel, if you're in significant profit, you may want to consider your positions. This is something that we talk about from time to time, something that I think we often forget about when the markets are incredibly green. People tend to forget about taking profits. If you've got a meaningful, return on your investment, and that number means something to you, considering the economic climate, personally, I would be looking at that and thinking this is probably a good time to be exiting. But do bear in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. I cannot give you financial advice. All I do here is give you my thoughts and opinions on the data as I personally see it. You should absolutely consult your own financial advisor if you do have access to one, and basically do your own research and come to your own conclusions. Do not treat anything I say or do in these videos as financial advice, because it is not intended as such. Personally, myself, when I see markets in the green and the market's getting really, really greedy, this usually means that I should be thinking about taking profits, and that's something that we kind of see from time and time again. And key points in the history of Bitcoin where we see prices kind of getting up to those highs, creating these really bearish overlapping structures, and then we can start taking profits and things like that. Let me know what your thoughts are overall when it comes to the price action of Bitcoin in the comments. Do you think we're going to be pushing up higher, or do you think that the correction is overdue now and we're about to start to cash in on some of those profits? Really interested to know what the community are thinking when it comes to the price action of BTC, and whether or not you guys are taking profits, or whether you're going to be riding this a little bit longer. As I said earlier, if you found this useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Don't forget to join us down in Discord, and guys, I will catch you all in the next one.